Hey, everybody, welcome to the Throwback Zone, where we will be bridging the gap between then and now. I am Robin L., one of your hosts.
And I'm Kello with the Jello. Hello.
It's your girl, Brandi.
And last but not least, you have Bryce.
Yes, and we have a great show lined up for you guys. We have the wonderful Cody Shane, so stay tuned. You are watching the Throwback Zone podcast.
It's the Throwback Zone. It's the Throwback Zone. It's the Throwback Zone. It's the Throwback. It's the Throwback Zone. It's the Throwback Zone. It's the Throwback Zone.
All right, guys, so let's jump right into the first segment in the news now. As you know, 2020 has been crazy. I mean, with the pandemic and everything, how are you guys holding up and staying healthy, mind, body, and soul, and all that good stuff during the pandemic?
Man, okay, at first I was doing good. I had my routine together, get up early, pray, work out, work on my goals. About week 2 or 3, it was like, somebody come get these Reese's away from me.
Right.
Yes, I understand, Kello. Listen, at first, the first 3 weeks, I was drinking every day, okay?
We all were.
Eating good, because I was cooking, okay? Eating good. Then I had to change it up. I had to get back on my workout. I was like, okay,
Right.
listen. Cannot be thinking every day is a holiday. You can just drink and eat every day. So
Doing it all.
Yeah,
it was
I think at first.
crazy.
What were you saying, Brandi?
I said, I can't believe how I was just drinking and eating like crazy. Like I would wake up like, oh, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I'm just going to make a cocktail. And it was 10 a.m. in the morning. It was crazy. But I enjoyed myself. I had a good time. But now I'm back on my regimen. I'm working out every day and trying to keep it together.
You look amazing, by the way.
What about you, Bryce?
Yeah.
How you handling it?
At first, I was embracing. I was like, "Ooh, I get to work from home. I don't have to deal with
Right.
traffic in the morning." But like Brandi was saying, I was eating literally anything that didn't eat me first: chips, candy. The gyms were obviously closed, so I couldn't go to the gym. You can kind of work
Right.
out in the house a little bit, but it's just totally not the same.
It is. I literally
Right.
forced myself. I hate working out at home.
At first, I thought it was going to be 2 or 3 weeks. So I was like, that's not a big deal. But when we got to like that month benchmark, I started to get the cabin fever and, just getting real antsy. And that's when I started drinking like Brandi and all kind of other crazy
Right.
around the house, trying to keep myself
Yes.
busy.
Same
It's very
for
mental. It's a mental thing.
Same for me. Yeah, I was doing good, like you guys said, up until, maybe when you got about the month part, and I was like, okay, you got to get it together, pull it together, because I was failing definitely with eating healthy. Like you said, drinking alcohol, just thinking it's so big vacation at home. And, I fell off with the working out because I'm used to going to the gym, so I didn't have that discipline to work out at home. Brandi, like, I see you are, getting back into it and everything. I was like, girl, I was like, I need to get like her because I fell off and I'm trying to get back on the wagon because I completely fell off the wagon with the health part. So
Yeah, man.
It's really a mind thing. Like, it really is. You have to get up and tell yourself, like, hey, I got to do this. Because I love going to the gym.
yeah,
I
you
hate working out
feeling
at
it
home.
too. I see you.
I
Getting
try to
all
do what I can do, what I can do.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a mind thing.
Has it affected like your personal life? Somebody like me that's single that hasn't been able to go out and stuff. How you guys handling like that part, the social aspect part?
Well, for me,
No good loving.
my social life hasn't been that big since I moved to Atlanta last year, which was a complete change because when I was at home, I was always like in the mix. So I kind of got used to it, but I think when all your options are gone, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I was finding stuff to do. I was calling people, hey, you need me to help you do something? Like, you need me to research something? I was trying to find things to do because it's like when you have a few to none options, it's like, oh, okay. But when you have zero, No
So true.
kids, no husbands, no man. You like, ooh, oh my God. I had to try to, get a new hobby or something.
Yeah,
Something.
Pornhub out.
Pornhub. Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard Pornhub.
I had to
Jump
come
in.
to myself one day. I was like, oh my God, I think you are developing an addiction to porn. I was getting,
Oh my God,
it was getting real bad. Real.
Look, Bryce is bad. I wrote an ebook.
look,
Oh my
keeping
God.
it real. That's keeping it 100 right there.
What about you?
Get it how you live. Get it how you live.
Yes.
I mean, I was the homebody.
Are you single? Are you single, Robin?
No, I am not single.
Oh.
No, I am not.
So you good too. You and Brandi been good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've been real good. Real good. Oh, sorry guys. Sorry guys.
Somebody pass
Oh
me my
my
tea.
God.
Let me ask you guys this: when the pandemic is over, what's the first thing that you guys are looking forward to being able to do again that you kind of took for granted before?
Oh
I
my
want a date.
goodness.
Yeah, but what else you got?
I want a date.
I mean, I want to get out. I just want to get out the house because I'm used to being a homebody and staying in the house. Like Kello will tell you, hey girl, you coming to brunch? No, I can't come to brunch. I got this going on, staying home with the baby. I'm leaving. I'm coming. Invite me everywhere. I'm coming
I
to
go
every
solo
brunch,
dolo.
every party. Look, no more cancellations. I am going everywhere. I will act like it's 2000. 99, 99, and 2000. Yes. So that's what I got on my mind.
I'm gonna start socializing with me, and I'm going on dates. Okay.
Yes,
I got me
Kello.
some dresses already hanging up in the closet. Some wigs already hanging up in the closet. I'm ready.
Yes, we're gonna put you out on these dates.
Yep.
I can't wait to actually start traveling again. I'm so used to traveling for work, and I have not been able to travel in months, and it's driving me crazy. So I'm really looking forward to traveling and like getting back on the stage and doing what I do.
Yes.
I figured you were gonna say that something related to your craft.
Yeah.
And I miss the carpet
it.
also.
Yeah.
The red carpet interviews.
Oh,
I
going
miss
to the
that.
events.
Yes.
event.
That
Yes.
part.
Yes, all the events. Bryson, we going to all the events. Okay.
Everywhere. We are gonna be in that thing everywhere. We are not missing a thing.
I miss the simple things, just like things I took for granted, like just going to sit out at a patio with my friends and having a couple of drinks, stuff like that. I've only had maybe 3 visitors since the pandemic started that actually have physically been in my home. So most of my friends I haven't been able to physically see. We've all been FaceTime like we're doing now. We're using Zoom. So I miss that.
Right.
Be able to hug my friends again.
Yeah, it's been hard because you're scared. You're like,
Right.
I don't know. I could be asymptomatic. They could be asymptomatic. So it's kind of like, for
Right.
safety reasons. So
You got to make smart decisions.
Well, the funny thing is, most of my friends have the antibodies, which means that they did have it at some point. So I haven't had the antibodies test yet. So I want to get one because I'm curious to know if I did have it at some point. Because like out of the crew I roll with, like 80% of them have antibodies. So I'm kind of feeling like I may have had it.
Well, I got tested.
You did for the antibodies?
No, just for the regular COVID test.
On the test?
How was that?
Negative. It was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was fast.
Yeah, they stick that
but it
way in
was-
the back of your nose,
Yes,
right?
on both nostrils. I was in the car like,
Wow.
It was like, just relax.
What prompted you to get tested, Kelly? Did you feel like you had anything, or you just wanted to do it?
I didn't. I think because I was having headaches because I had a sinus infection, and I never thought I had it. But sometimes, like you said, you in this space by yourself, you start getting bored. You like, I'm overthinking things. Like I had no other symptoms, and I was doing like virtual visits. Like I would call them like, my head hurt. I need something. They'd be like, well, I'm looking at you. You look fine, but okay. And then
Your doctor was just like, hypochondriac.
Right. Paranoid.
Yes. She was like, you know what? She said, I really doubt you have it. I said, I don't either, because I'm a believer, so I'm speaking all day of my life. I am healthy. I am healed. But she was like, at this point, I mean, they provided you can just go. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go.
That's what made me go.
Better to be safe than sorry.
That's right.
Yeah. When I had the
good idea
last week, I went and took one because the symptoms for food poisoning also was under COVID-19. I was like, oh, here we go. but I went and I was negative, so that made me feel better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotta go ahead.
Let me
Yes,
ask you guys
yes.
this though. Do you think, since we're the throwback zone and we have to talk about the past and stuff like that, they said that the swine flu years ago was taking out as many people as COVID-19. Do you feel that because of the day and age we live in, like as far as like social media and just being so exposed to news a lot more quickly, that it kind of heightened everybody's anxiety about it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then
Absolutely. I
we've
mean,
never.
it's
Go ahead,
different.
Rhoda.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
different because with me, I'm always on social media, so I see everything. So any new cases, any symptoms, I'm like, oh my God, freaking out. So I think social media definitely plays a major part because back then, you either watch the news on TV or in the radio or a newspaper, and that was
Right.
it.
Because I don't remember the
And
swine
you have to
flu
you have to limit yourself.
You do.
You have to limit yourself. Like, it's good to be aware, but one thing I learned: whatever you take in the most, that's what's gonna overpower your thoughts. So when I start feeling like, ooh, that's enough, ooh, something else.
I put a timer.
As long as I'm knowledgeable.
I get 45 minutes a day. That's it. And then I get an alert that says your 45 minutes.
Oh,
to go back on.
I need to learn.
Yeah.
When
Definitely.
the pandemic first started, I was like waking up every day. First thing I do when I open my eyes is thank God. But after that, I grab my phone, turn the news on, and I'm like constantly being consumed with what's happening. The urgency of getting tested and how many people are dying and the symptoms and everything. And excuse me, it just started like making me so depressed and sad, and I was like, hey, I can't do that. I can't wake up to this every day, go to bed to this every day. Like, I need to limit myself. It's too much.
Yes.
That's a good point. Segue into obviously there's been a lot of like social injustice riots, protesting going on. How do you guys feel about that? Because I've been indulging myself heavily in that. Obviously, it's all over the news all day long. So thoughts on that part?
Man.
For me,
It's-
it's the same thing. It's like, I need to be aware. I need to figure out how to do my part. But it's like, it's very painful. It's not nothing new. But like you said, with social media, we see it over and over and over. So you have to limit yourself, because the more you watch something like that, you get angry. You know what I'm saying? When you're angry, you can't think clearly.
Right. Absolutely.
You
I
know?
feel the same way. I feel the same way. I first of all, I mean, it's crazy what's going on. I mean, I feel like we're living the days of our grandparents, our ancestors, seeing these, marches and these riots, and it's just really interesting to be living that now. And I definitely support the cause. Of course, Black Lives Matter, and our voices need to be heard. It's so unbelievable that we're still here in 2020, still fighting for the same craziness that we were fighting for so many years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we went from fighting a pandemic to now having to fight racism, but enough is enough. And some people may not agree with how it's being done. Some people may disagree with the protesting. I heard a lot of people say, organize and strategize, go out and vote, put some people in office of power that will make the changes. Do y'all agree with that, or are y'all cool with the protesting?
I feel like we tried the peaceful thing. They didn't want us kneeling for the national anthem. They had an issue with that. So I feel like, I'm not a violent person. Obviously, I will prefer for things to be peaceful. But I feel like they didn't start really taking action on the last case until people started really acting a fool. They didn't up the charges from 3rd degree to 2nd degree until the riot started. The other cops weren't going to be charged at all until the riot started. So I feel like even though, people were hurt during the riots, and obviously people had property that was damaged, but I feel like some good did come out of it. I feel like the Malcolm X approach in this particular situation, it worked.
Yeah.
I think you need a combination of both. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like where it first started out, because I learned that they had so many different cases before this even happened. So I understand why those people were so angry and they did the way they did. But like here in Atlanta, I feel like maybe I'm all for the protest, but I'm like, why mess up your people's stuff? You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand that aspect of it. I wasn't,
Yeah.
angry, but I'm like, okay, if we fighting for us, right?
All the Black-owned businesses.
Right. We're fighting for us. And you have somebody who, work hard to build their business. Why you want to tear it down? You're doing what they doing.
Right.
Protest all that, because sometimes you have to organize. Sometimes you get angry, like you say, you have to take action, but you got to think. But I was watching on social media, and I seen one of the business owners, her shop was burned down, and she said that it was mixed races. She said it wasn't all Black people, and she said it was a lot of younger people. She said she doesn't feel like it was the people that were protesting. It was just like random,
You know what?
Yeah.
Let me seam that together. I do feel, I told one of my friends this, that Friday when the riots first started in Atlanta, I said, I feel like if the pandemic was not going on and people had stuff to do and weren't bored and just looking for something to get into, I don't think that many people would have been out there. And I don't think hoodlums would have been out there. Like just looking at their stuff up. People were bored. People been locked up for 3 months.
Right.
So they were just excited to be out the house and just looking for something to do. And unfortunately, they chose to do damage to some people's property.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we all know that in the midst of people trying to express themselves and, make a statement, of course, there's going to be people that really don't care, that's just out there trying to gain. I mean, when you go into a store and steal Louis Vuittons, or when you go in the store and steal jewelry, you're not out there for George Floyd or any of the reasons why people are really fighting. You're just out there to gain. So I mean, of course you're going to have those crazy incidents, but I really feel like we needed this to actually make a change. So I'm all for it.
I agree.
No
Yeah,
shit.
they are definitely listening and paying attention.
Looking for a booster to buy some stolen stuff from.
Exactly.
Yeah, I heard they have people put some of the stuff online, like purses and watches.
Yeah.
They better be careful. They gonna be.
Well, yeah, especially to those that went into like the Apple store and took the iPhones and stuff. They were tracking them. So I mean, that's just being stupid.
Yeah.
That's just being plain old stupid. So, and also too with some of the celebrities, making a statement, some people got under fire. Like Trina was under fire for saying our people were running around like animals and things of that nature. I can understand the protesting, like you said, and but the rioting and looting, I don't think that they didn't have to do that much, but they are paying attention to us. We made a statement either way. Like you said, we got the convictions, we got the arrests. So I guess it's like
Trina was trying to make a point because she had a personal friend whose store was damaged, and I think her choice of words was just totally off-putting.
She was acting off of emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how Trina gets real turned real quick. And then
I love her. That's one of my boos. Trina, that's my homegirl. I love her so much. Bryce, that's my girl. So I really feel like she was speaking off of emotion, and I know she is definitely all about her culture and her people. So I think she was just upset, that her friend's store got ransacked, but she's down with the brown. Okay.
Okay. We know that.
And that's what I said. When you're under a microscope, you got to be careful. That's why I said when you have to limit yourself on stuff, because when it overpowers you and you get angry, you got to take a minute to breathe before you post and before you speak, because sometimes stuff come out that way.
Once you post,
and people don't let you forget.
You try and delete it, somebody already got it and it's gone around.
Right.
Oh yeah, it done made it to another outlet. They done shared it, they done screenshot it. So they'll twist your words, make you say something, take a little snippet of something you said and not play it all. So yeah, you definitely have to be careful when you're a public figure.
That's why it's so important, especially for us, because all of this is going on, that we participate in those smaller local elections, because those are really the elections that really determine the laws that affect stuff like this. I think for so many years, I'll speak for myself even, for so many years, I only used to participate in like the presidential elections, never the local ones. But as I got older and started to educate myself on how the government really worked, I realized that the smaller elections are the ones like your councilmen and things of that nature is the ones you
Right.
So I'll be in line tomorrow for hours probably, to cast my vote, but I'm definitely going to stand there until I get it done.
Oh yeah.
Right. And
We
I think
have to.
like you said, even with the bad, good is gonna come out of it. Because like you said, a lot of us, we didn't really take the time to vote. Like I would, but I never really educated myself on it. It was like whoever my grandma said, I was like, she was like, make sure you. I'm like, okay.
True.
But you know, I think this
Me
is gonna
too.
push a lot of people because you'll be
We're all
surprised
guilty.
how many Black people don't vote. Like they don't. A lot of them don't.
You know, I hear a lot of people say, well, it don't matter because my vote not going to count, or they not going to count it anyway, or they go cheat and they don't go. But you have to go either way, whether they have some funny stuff going on, at least you know you went and did your part.
Right.
Because if you
Right.
don't,
Consistency is key.
you know it's not going to count for sure then, because you didn't vote.
Right.
Right.
Period. So
I
And
just
imagine
feel
how many
like-
people say that. That's why it wouldn't count, because if so many people say that and then they don't vote.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I felt like, well, you know, it's not gonna matter, whatever. But I just think when you think about what our ancestors went through for us to be able to have the right to vote, even if you don't believe that your vote is going to count or if it matters, you are really doing them a disservice if you don't exercise the right to vote. So that's what I'm about. I'm like, you know what? People died for this, and I'm sitting around like, oh, I don't want to do it. No, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
That's
it's
right.
bigger than you sometimes. And consistency is key. We give up so easy on everything. Like they were consistent, even with their marches, even with their protests. You know what I'm saying? It went on and on and on. So we just have to keep it up.
This was a heavy topic, so I need to unwind. And Kelly, I think a cocktail you want to talk about. Right?
Ooh.
Yes.
You want to show us how to make today? I got a head start, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
People so they could catch.
So tonight's cocktail is called the Pac Sade. Now, if y'all want to know how I came up with it, have y'all ever seen the meme on Instagram where it says, sometimes I'm Tupac, sometimes I'm Sade?
That's me.
Me too.
That's me.
But just put a little Urkel on there, just a little Urkel in the mix, and you'll have me. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, because those are two of my favorite artists. I'm like, what would that taste like? So if you think about, you know, Sade, you'll think about, you know, something sweet, something smooth, something sexy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you think about Tupac, you're going to think about some thug passion.
Yeah.
That's the
So
one.
I said, let's combine these two things together, and then you come up with the Pac Sade. So,
I got a little buzz.
you like it? You like it?
It's good.
Okay.
I'm not a brand.
I
So
like
you guys
it,
out
girl.
there want to make it at home.
Let's
I started off with 4 ice cubes, or you can do crushed ice, or if you want to do 2, I just chose 4. It's up to you. And then we'll do some Hennessy. Now, you know, I can drink a little bit. So how much Hennessy you use is your preference. If you do 1 shot, you know, if you're lightweight, if you want to do 2, 3, 4, it's up to you. So I'll just go ahead and pour the rest that I have in my bottle.
Come on, Hennessy.
Look, that might be about 3 or 4
That's why
shots.
mine not dark like y'all.
Yeah, mine is darker.
Let's
Oh,
see.
wow. Woo.
Then for the filler, you're gonna get you some rosé champagne. Doesn't matter what kind. Just get you some rosé.
Rosé,
And use that for the middle. So go ahead and fill your drink out.
Kelly, that is a big ass drink.
It is.
She like,
It is.
You know, I'm from Texas. We do everything big. No.
Okay,
Okay.
And so
All right,
to
my
top your
neighbor.
drink off, like I said, your preference. I just only want a little splash. Just a little splash, just enough to give me a little flavor of pineapple juice.
Mm-hmm.
And then go ahead and mix it up.
Oh.
Stir it. And then you have the Pac Sade.
In the summer.
All right.
Cheers,
Yeah.
guys.
Cheers.
Oh,
Throwback zone.
Go
Yes.
back home.
Oh,
I love it. You guys
it's
like it?
good. Yes, but
I
you
like
see,
it.
I put a little too much pineapple juice from what I'm seeing, so
yeah, yours is real pale.
I messed it up. So I'm gonna have to do it over now that I know, along with everybody else with the instructions.
But in your
I'm not gonna put as much pineapple juice.
In your defense, you said you didn't want to get too lit for the show.
Yeah.
Right.
That's your excuse.
So that's
the good thing about this drink. It's for the lightweight and the heavyweight. You make it for your preference. So
okay.
And we're gonna post that, guys.
Mine is dark because I love me some Henny, y'all. So
cheers
to the Henny.
See, we
y'all have fun with that.
Y'all
have fun with that. I can't hang with the Henny.
Yeah, me either.
I'll be like, excuse me, I'll be back.
And if you guys want to make this at home, we're gonna post it. So it's a good fun summer cocktail.
Yes.
In fact, I'm not even gonna tell that story on camera. That's embarrassing. I'll tell that off camera. I had a bad experience with Hennessy one night.
Me too.
I'll tell y'all.
It's okay. We all have.
We all have, Bryson. We all have.
That was the first and the last time. That's why I don't play with the Henny. That and Patron.
Anything is possible.
Patron.
Now I like Patron now.
I can't even smell Patron. That was the
what?
A Patron margarita.
I try not to mess with tequila unless I have activity. If I don't have nothing to do, I would not drink it.
What Patron?
Okay.
If I don't have anything, I have to have activity. If I don't have anything to do, I cannot just drink any tequila because I'll be too turned.
That's how I feel about.
Good though.
That's how I feel about most cocktails. I'm like, if I'm drinking, I must be having some fun tonight. That's how I feel. Like, okay, well, I must be having
a little trouble.
Yeah, I need some trouble, so I'm gonna have me a little cocktail.
See, I'm a wine drinker. If I'm at home and I'm chilling, I drink my wine. But if I get to drinking my drinks, I need to have some type of activity. I ain't saying it's nothing bad or nothing, but I need to be doing something, a few laughs or something, a few hee ha ha's, something.
Right.
Yeah, because if not, I'll be like, Mama sleeping.
I'll start scrolling through my Rolodex.
Right. Two ways. Yeah, it's going to be a little fun.
Oh,
we don't need them drunk texts.
Okay. You get that kind of turn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like I need some type of activity, or I'm gonna start.
That's what she was talking about when she said activity, Bryce.
No.
Over
I can be out listening to music.
She meant just like hype. I think she meant like.
That's what I meant. I didn't mean that.
Oh.
I'm saying, but if I don't have anything to do, I'll start calling folks.
Lord have mercy.
Hey, how you doing? I ain't talked to you in a long time.
I'm like that too. Like if I get drunk, I'm FaceTiming people, and yeah, it's not.
Hey, Craig, how you doing? You remember me?
So we just have to remember when we make up cocktails, if you and Bryson don't have nothing to do, it might get crazy.
We're going to hear about it, Brandi. They're gonna be like, you know what? After we did the episode, we went and got into some stuff.
Right.
So y'all
we called and texted a few people.
This quarantine, I have texts in my phone, my friends like on a thread will be like, Bryson, have you been, like they can tell like when my conversation gets like left field, like Bryson, you over there drinking, ain't you?
That's what's going on.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Get off the sauce, Bryson. Get off the sauce.
Like, are you okay?
I'm always me, just like times 10. So my normal is like woo, but when the drink is like woo.
Brandi, you want to ping Kodie?
Robin,
I'm back. Let's go. I'm ready. Hi, Brandon.
Hi, Bill. I'm trying to get
I miss you.
I miss you too. Welcome to the Throwback Zone Comedy.
Let's go.
Welcome. Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. Everybody, I want to introduce my favorite guest. Okay, it's our first guest, but she's my favorite guest. My little sister, Cody Shane.
Let's go.
So I'm so happy you're on the Throwback Zone. So really the Throwback Zone is a new podcast that we're all hosting. And it's basically bridging the gap between then and now. So you are definitely a part of the now generation. And we just want to talk to you about all things Cody Shane from the beginning to now. And so I really want to start asking you questions about like your childhood, because I know, like, you know, since I thought about it this morning and I'm like, damn, you know, Cody's 21 now and BLAQUE just celebrated our 20-year anniversary. So all of your life, I've been in the industry.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that's all you know is, you know, your sister being a part of the music industry and watching that process. And then now it's your turn and you're doing such amazing things. So what was it like growing up with a sister in the music industry, the entertainment industry? What was that like for you?
Everything was just music. Like, you know, Dad singing all day. Got songs about washing up, songs about making burgers, songs about
Kool-Aid,
songs about everything. So everything was just music. I don't really think I ever felt like I would do anything else. I feel like I always knew I would be entertaining in some type of way.
Mm-hmm.
So it just worked out. Like whether it was basketball or movies or whatever it was, I always knew I would be entertaining. And I feel like me and music just found each other.
Yeah, I know that when you got here, when you were born, like we knew like Kodie was gonna do something in the business. Like she was a ham, the camera loved her. She was super photogenic as a baby. Like everybody's like, oh my God, she's so beautiful, like crazy. And we're all just so proud of you as a family and just to see you do your thing. Like every time I go to your show, I'm just so in awe.
She cries, guys. She cries.
I cry every time. I'm like, oh my God.
You're a little sister.
It's definitely all happening, and it's kind of crazy to see. Like, I know it's crazy for Dad to see like history repeat itself so many times. So it's crazy.
Did that add pressure for you though? Coming into a family with so many successful people in the music industry, and you kind of trying to step into those shoes.
I would say I used it more as motivation rather than pressure. It felt more motivating to me than it did, like pressure-wise. Nobody ever put the pressure on me. Like, it was never like, all right, Kodie, now, we know you got it in you. You better do this. You know what I'm saying? It was just like everything happened naturally. So it was more of a motivation, you know, still to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
How would you describe your style?
My style is undescribable. Yes. That's how amazing it is. No, but
I agree.
I think my style as a person, I love the Matrix. I'm all about the Matrix. I love BLAQUE. I love that style of clothing, that style of life. I love it. When it comes to my music, I feel like a good mix between R&B, hip hop, and some rock. So I feel like it's all three. I really feel like it's alternative R&B, but hip hop R&B too, or R&B rock really is what I would say. R&B rock.
That's cool. When I first seen you on that Sprite commercial, I was like, oh my goodness! I was like, she's so cool. Who is that?
That's crazy. When I first seen it, I was in awe for sure. I was in awe. Because I just used to be like, I can't wait to just watch TV, then see my commercial come up. And then it happened, and I was like, this is crazy.
I remember Brandi texting me when it debuted, and she was like, did you see my sister's commercial? She was super proud of you. Super.
Yeah, it was a huge moment. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It was good. I was like, where is she from? Cali?
Kodie, tell us a little bit about your creative process when you get into the zone of creating your art.
I would say my creative process is more like, to me, I've actually just was talking about this the other day. When I hear a beat, I feel like it speaks to me, and then I just speak back. Like, and if it doesn't speak to me, then if the beat's not saying anything, then I don't have anything to say either. So that's usually how it works for me. It's usually, or sometimes I'll just come up with something fire in my head and then wait till I get a beat that it fits. You know what I mean? It's all different. Sometimes I try to write like pen and paper, but I always feel like it's a little time consuming, although I know I may put a little more into it if I just sat there and wrote it. But a lot of times I'm just in a vibe. And I feel like that's what music is. It's like energy, and it's just like a vibe. So I learned from her.
Yeah.
So do you write everything yourself, or you get help?
Yeah, I write probably 85% of my music for sure.
Okay.
Now, Kodie, you're only 21, but you have a very old soul about you, right? But I'm curious to know, even though you're kind of mature, did Brandi give you like any advice going into the music industry? Or
One thing I'll never forget is stay humble and sweet. And if you're a boy, humble and cool.
That's right. We got that from our dad. I got that advice from my dad, and I just wanted to, you know, pass it on to her. You know, I just wanted, because I know when I was Kodie's age, I always thought that, you know, this would never end. My life would always be, you know, how it was at the time I was 21. But my dad always reminded me that, you know, relationships are everything, and how you treat people is everything. So if you stay humble and you stay sweet, people will remember that. You know, you may not have a hit record at the time, but they will remember your innocence and your personality and your spirit about you. And I just wanted her to always have that.
I could genuinely say that piece of advice I've carried throughout my whole life. And it's definitely been times where it's like, I might meet a person 3 years ago, but they just remember me in my spirit.
Yep.
3 years later, it's like, Kodie, yes, you know, so it's definitely been a piece of advice that helped me.
And what I can
That's what makes people connect.
Yeah. And everybody I've met in your family is pretty much like that. Everybody, I think, your dad.
And that's the rule.
Yeah, hope is
that, and you can do whatever you want as long as it's good.
Right.
Okay.
We have the coolest dad. We're gonna have to.
Come on, Dad. Come on, Dad.
Yeah.
So, Kodie, you're in quarantine. Since you have this home studio now, what can we expect to come out of this quarantine from you creatively?
I'm making so much great stuff. I really love it, Brandi. You got to come to the house and hear it. I got to come play it for you. I'm making a lot of great stuff. Really, I'm super excited about Bloomer Volume 2 that's getting ready to drop, hopefully by the end of this month. So I can't wait for that. I feel like that's going to be the EP to
yes.
to that next level. I'm really excited about the features. I'm just really excited about everything. It's going to be perfect. I'm just so excited to drop. So I'm really excited about that. Bloomer Volume 2, that's like my main focus right now. I think it's going to be really good.
Awesome.
What do you feel like? What do you feel like is your ultimate goal, like as far as your music? Like, I know you said you're excited about dropping this, but like, what do you feel is the ultimate goal for you? My ultimate goal is to probably just retire my parents, get some farm, get some land. And I got like nieces and nephews that I love. I want one huge house. Because I just really want to be able to put all my sisters and my whole family in position to be able to do whatever they want to do. And not like I'm just taking care of my whole family, but no, here, you're in position. You're in position. Do whatever you want as long as it's good. Like,
right.
That's how I feel.
But from the artistic side, like, what do you want your music to do? From the artistic side, I feel like a lot of music to me is hollow, very hollow. And so for me, I just want people to feel it. I just want people to feel something, whatever it is. You know, got happy, sad, mad. As long as my music is making you feel, you know, you want to cry or make you happy. You're like, this is my song I listen to when I'm excited. You know, I wanna, because I feel like it's certain artists like Uzi or like Drake or like even Cardi, they have this consistent feel to their music. So it's like, I'm feeling like I want to listen to Drake all day, or they have that consistent feel. So I want to be like that. And I also want to be able to like, I feel like I do pretty good at this, but I want to be able to like speak to not just my generation. I want your mom to like it. I want your grandma to dance to it. I want your nephew to like it. You know, I want it to be worldly.
Nice. Right. Yeah. So I have a question. I remember taking you on tour with me when I was doing the Nickelodeon tour. BLAQUE was doing the Nickelodeon tour. You were 2 years old. Oh, wow. She was the baby on the bus.
Been around the world.
Baby on the road. Do you remember any of that?
I don't, but I do know it's one video you could look up on YouTube where it's like TLC was performing and then Left Eye just had all of us come on the stage and Taylor's just holding me and running up on the stage. And it's like thousands of people though. It was crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
she was right
I used
there
to
in
be
the
like-
middle of it all.
In the mix at 2.
Used to be.
Yeah.
You've been a star since 2.
Yes,
You
I
was
wish we took more
destined.
pictures back then.
I know. It's so crazy. So everybody that I talk to when they realize like, oh my God, Kodie is your sister, they always say that you remind them of Natina. And I always tell them
That's my heart.
that you and Natina actually shared a birthday.
Mhm.
You
That's my
guys'
heart.
birthday is the same day, the 28th
Wow.
of October,
Yeah.
and she loved you so much, and you loved her so much.
She used to say, when Kodie 18, she coming to live with me.
And I was like, oh God.
I was like, I'm out.
I was definitely nervous about that. But
Yeah, that's my heart.
Natina just loved you so much. I remember when you were a baby, she just used to hold you. She loved you so much.
Yeah, we was twin flames right there. Twin,
Yeah,
that's my twin flame.
for sure.
Have
Absolutely.
you guys ever considered doing music together?
Oh yeah, we
Me and
definitely
B?
gonna get it done.
Yeah.
We actually got in and did a song, but I feel like once we make our song, it gotta be like the most beautiful. It gotta be the most beautiful record ever. Like it gotta be
Ever.
perfect.
Make
Ever.
that happen. Make
Oh
it
yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely. We're gonna have 1,000 of them.
Do you
We
feel
might
like
make a song
y'all
together.
like? Do you feel like y'all are really different, or you feel
Me
like
and B,
right?
I feel like we are different, but we also have a lot of the same characteristics. Like we have a lot of, it's because it's my blood, so like we
Right.
have a lot of the same parts, but we also are very different. You know what I mean? So, but
Right.
I think that makes it better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I definitely see a lot of her in me. Like Kodie's heart is so big, and you know she's always thinking of others and trying to give herself in so many ways. And I tried to do the same thing. So I feel like in that way we're a lot alike. I mean, I feel like we're a
Blessing
lot
and a
like our
curse.
dad.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think
So
that's I feel like we all like that.
yeah,
We all just love as hard as we can.
yeah, for sure.
Y'all so passionate.
So sweet.
Yes.
Speaking of you guys being very alike and knowing so much about each other, I think I want to play a game with y'all. Game.
Oh, let's do the quiz then. Quiz me.
Say it again.
Quiz me then. Let's do it.
You got your paper and pen?
Oh,
Brandi,
she's
you ready?
I'm ready
Let's
to do it on my
get it.
So
I'm
I'm
ready
calling this game, drum roll, sister. Okay? So I'm going to shoot off a question, 3 questions for Brandi, 3 questions for Kodie, but the question is going to be about the other sister.
Okay.
And your goal is to match or try to come up with what their answer is going to be.
Okay.
Now
Cody,
let's.
she already told us if you get it wrong, she's gonna be mad at you.
If we get these answers wrong, we need a sister day twice a week.
For sure.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Kodie first since she's our special guest today. So what reality show, if you had to be on a reality show that's out today, which one would you want to be on?
The Kardashians.
No, don't say it out. You gotta write
You
it
gotta write it down.
But I know I was right.
Okay. Well, we know that answer.
But we know that answer, so now we gotta go with another one.
Interesting.
The Kardashians.
Yeah, so write the answer on the paper and then we'll.
All right, I got it. I'm ready. I'm ready now for real.
So the next question, we're gonna do another one for Kodie since we kind of jacked that one up. So who is an artist outside of your sister, obviously, that you would love to collaborate with musically in the future? So I'm gonna put my timer on. You have 10 seconds.
Okay.
Got it.
You can't see my answer.
Can't see it though.
I'd say Maxwell.
Kodie's.
What did
Can
you
you see?
put?
I said Maxwell.
Maxwell?
I put Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, wow.
She close. Cody, she close. They almost the same person. It's okay.
No, for real.
Maxwell.
Basically.
I love
But no, that's another great one.
That's good.
So this is one for Kodie about Brandi. Who is Brandi's celebrity crush?
Oh shit! I gotta think about who is Brandi's celebrity crush.
Brandi, it better not be mine. It better not be mine. That's all I got
Wait,
to
I'm
say.
trying to really think because this is so funny.
Let me think about it. Ooh.
4 more seconds.
It better not be
Hello.
mine, Brandi. That's all I got to say.
I lost this one. I lost this one.
Oh, you
Feel
can't
the
see
tea.
what I got, but
What you
I'll
got?
tell you. Who you got?
I lost this one, bro. I lost this one.
I'll put Lil Baby because I like Lil Baby.
Brandi, he was at the protest I went to on
I'm not saying nothing.
Saturday.
I like him. I think he's
Why was that
so
the
cool.
last person I'd ever
You got it,
think
Brandi. You
of?
got it.
All right, this one is about Kodie. Favorite thing to do? Favorite pastime when you're not working?
Oh, I know.
Keep it PG. PG, this is a family.
Okay.
I saw Kodie's
What's your
eyebrows.
answer, B?
Like,
All right, I'm ready.
okay.
I put hanging with Saucy.
This is so true. That's like my best friend, my brother.
Okay. So Brandi got that
okay.
one good.
I got it
Brandi,
right.
you got that right.
All right.
All right, so this one is about Brandi. What is one of Brandi's favorite comfort foods?
Okay, Kodie.
So when she's at home during quarantine, being real fat, real gluttonous.
Not real fat. I just know that Brandi used to make some. All right, am I ready? Can I answer?
Sure.
I know you used to make some crazy eggplant parm. You like that vibe. I know you used to make that, but I feel like you like a macaroni vibe.
I put mac and cheese. That's what I
Let's go!
put. Yes. You're right.
We're killing it.
All
yeah,
right.
we're killing it. Sisters.
Yeah, y'all doing better than what I was expecting, actually. My questions aren't hard enough. I should have went harder on it.
I think the little baby was the most unexpected for me.
Right.
That was
I'm
Kodie.
like,
That was unexpected for me.
Like, I like little baby. I like little baby.
Kodie, that was unexpected for me.
So this is the last one. This is for Kodie. About Kodie, rather. What is something that Kodie is afraid of?
Oof.
That's a good one.
7 more seconds.
All right, I'm ready.
What you put?
I put losing because she doesn't like losing.
You right about that. You right about that. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't scared of it, but I don't like it.
Right, she don't like it. She don't like
I
losing.
said, my mama.
Your mom right. I should have put hope.
Yes. I mean,
That's probably her one fear in the world is her mama.
listen, like, truth be
Fear in your
Brandi,
life.
when we first met, I was scared of Hope. Like, Hope don't play. Like, Hope
Everybody
used to call my phone. I used to be like,
Yes.
let me get somewhere quiet. Let me go somewhere quiet and take this call because I don't know what she's going to say to me today.
She's the
Let
best.
me tell you.
No games.
Well, that was the end of the game, so we'll just call it a tie. Y'all both did a really good job. So.
Yes, it's supposed to be a tie.
Yay. Yes. Well, Cody, thank you so much for hanging out with us on the Throwback
Yes.
Zone.
Really
Thank
appreciate
I
it.
love you so much. I appreciate you guys. I think it's really awesome that you guys are doing this. This is really fire. So I appreciate you guys for having me, Brandi. I love you. Bryce, and I love you. It's been so long. Thank you.
Cody,
It was great to
tell
virtually
people
meet
about
you, ladies. Thank you.
Your Instagram,
Thank
Twitter,
you.
all that stuff.
Wish you the best.
You can find me everywhere at Cody Shane, KODIESHANE. Everywhere.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Next year, the same time.
I appreciate you guys.
Bye. Love
Bye.
you, baby.
Love you more.
Oh, I like
Oh, that was fun. Oh my God.
I'm
I know.
that.
Oh,
So,
what a big
Oh my goodness, guys. We just wrapped up an amazing interview with Cody Shane. And now it's time for Press Rewind with our own host, member of BLAQUE, solo artist, actress, model, Brandi D.
Yes.
What's good?
What's good? I am so happy to not only be one of the amazing hosts of the show, but I'm also the feature Press Rewind. Woo! Yes.
Okay, so one of the things that I really want to know, which I know this is like important to like every artist when they first, break off, like what was your final like ooh moment? Like, do you remember and how you felt like when you realized, oh, we made it?
Oh my goodness. Yes, I remember. We were in Japan and kids were literally sleeping in the hotel lobbies, waiting on us to come downstairs. We had to have police escorts to drive us through the city. Like, it was insane. Like, when we were in Tokyo, it was like Black mania.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, first of all, we're all the way in Japan. People are screaming our names, knowing every song, every lyric to every song, following us everywhere. And I'm like, okay, we must have did something right, because we all went in Japan and we like, oh my God.
International.
Right.
Yes, that was my oh my God moment.
I know that had to be crazy. I know that they had to feel great, like,
Yes.
So earlier when we did the game, sister with you and Cody Shane, Bryce asked about your celebrity crush. So one of my questions, when you was doing your thing, when you first came out, I know it was some hotties. Now, I wanted to know who was your celebrity crush then.
Let me flip my drink on that.
Ooh,
let me get my drink.
Spill the tea.
Let me spill some tea.
I think I know the answer to this one. I'm gonna wait and see what she said.
Well, I know a lot of people know I did the song Grills with Nelly.
And they don't, do they give you credit? Do they give you credit on that one?
She's on she's credited in the
I'm credited on the album.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. But a lot of people know, and a lot of people don't know that that's me singing the record Grills. And we had a little flame, you know what I'm saying, back then. We dated a little bit.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
You and Nelly,
okay. I had a nice relationship, hangout with Tyrese as well. Chocolate Tyrese.
Mm-hmm.
We not mad at those, honey. Okay.
That's one of my crushes back in the day.
Wendy Williams exclusive tea today.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
you had some good ones.
Kudos to you, my
thank
sister.
you.
Let me ask you this.
They both definitely.
You always hear about male artists when they're popping, right? They always have a lot of groupies. Did you guys have groupies as female?
Yes, we did. It was crazy. I'm telling you, male groupies are real. Like, they would be following the tour buses, meeting at every show, waiting backstage. Like, that is real life. Yes.
Wow.
I can believe it because they groupies on social media. So
Okay.
Yeah. It goes down in the DM.
I'm curious to know how you feel about artist development today, because artists today and how they basically make it in the industry is totally different from when you guys were coming up in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I just want to get your insight on that as far as artist development and like just the level of talent that we have now from artists.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely a different day than when we started. And I feel like our generation got the last of like the artist development, the polishing, because we actually went to artist development. We had a coach come in and teach us how to do interviews and, all that kind of stuff. And I feel like we are the last generation of that. I feel like it's so much freedom now, which is amazing. It's great. Kodie is a part of that generation that's so free. When I go to her shows, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's just so free to be her, and I love that. But I do believe in the era of polishing. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. I feel like that's still a part of the artistry. Mm-hmm. And I love that about what we were able to do. But I am in love with the fact that today artists are just free to really be who they are. And they're not really hung up on what the label has to say or, you know, trying to make them somebody that they're not.
Right.
Absolutely.
So you're the top selling group. You done traveled the world. You've had a successful acting career. Like, what do you feel is next for you? And do you have like other interests outside of entertainment as far as your career goes?
Absolutely. Well, what's next for me musically? Shamari and I are working on a new BLAQUE project. Of course, it'll just be us two, so we're excited about that. Definitely working on some collaborations with other artists, and then I'll be venturing off to my own solo project. And then outside of that, I'm starting my own fitness brand because I have been trying to keep this body together during this dang on quarantine. So I've decided to brand my regimen and what I've been doing. And honestly, I'm not the girl that loves to work out. Like literally, I don't like it. I'm not like, oh my God, here we can work out. Like, no, I want to speak to the girls that feel like, you know what, I don't want to do this today.
Right.
But I know that it's a part of having a healthy lifestyle, and to keep, you know, what I have, I got to work for it. You know, I'm not willing to go under the knife to get this amazing body. I have to work for it. So I want to speak to those people and really be honest about my journey, and just, you know, have people walk with me through that journey.
Look,
but I'm also doing other things. Huh?
You should call it Get Fit B.
Yes. Well, it's actually called Be Well Fit. That's the name.
Okay.
Be Well Fit. Yes. So I'm working on that, but I've also been doing other things like writing. I've been kind of taking a step behind the scenes and writing some scripts, which I'm really excited about. I'm writing a movie as well as a TV series. So I'm really excited about that. And also working on a cosmetic line too, because I always thought I had nice lips, so I want to brand.
Yes.
That'll work, girl. And nail polish. Listen, guys, since we can't go to the nail spa anymore, I've been doing my own nails, and I found a love for that. So I'm like, hey, I want to make my own nail polish. So look out for that too.
See the pandemic, all these hidden talents.
It makes you creative.
It makes you
creative.
Yeah,
definitely.
So this Brandi, being that you guys are working on this new BLAQUE project, you guys, you know, previously were known for that pop sound that was really big at that point of time. What is your sound going to be like going forward, especially being that we lost the late great Natina?
Yeah, I think that is what Shamari and I are trying to figure out right now. Of course, since it's two of us, it's going to be different, but musically, we want to keep it authentic to what BLAQUE is. And keeping that in mind, we want to keep Natina's legacy alive throughout that. So we have a couple unreleased recordings that she's done in the past. So we'll definitely be incorporating that. But we definitely want to just stay authentic to our sound, which was always a little futuristic. We always felt like we were, you know, above or beyond our time, like a little bit ahead of our time. But we want to be current, but we want to stay consistent to what our Black fans grew up with us doing. So that would be the goal.
Right. And when it comes to girl groups, do you feel that BLAQUE is underrated?
I don't know if we were underrated. BLAQUE has such an interesting story. I mean, we were very successful with our first album, and then we had some really interesting things happen to us. I mean, Shamari and I are also working on a biopic as well to really tell our story, because so many things happened in our journey. So I don't know if we were so much underrated, but I think we kind of just went away and people didn't really understand what happened. There was so many things personal that happened to us. that we really need to get that part of our story out for people to understand, okay, this is the journey of Black. I think our fans and our peers were very receptive to us, and they rallied behind us. They love us. They still do. When we do shows with our peers, they're like, oh my God, we're so happy you guys are back. We did a show with 112. We did shows with Cisco and Drew Hill and, and Silk, and they're always so happy to see us doing our thing. And they welcome us and they love us and they're happy to see us back. It's just that we've had such an amazing journey, a lot of ups and downs, losing Lisa, losing the Tina, it was a lot going on. So I think that would be it.
When you have impact, I feel like everything has its own timing. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the groups, like even New Edition, for example, they felt like they didn't get what they were supposed to get when they were supposed to get it, but the perfect timing. It was like the movie, then this. People that weren't even alive, that weren't exposed to them. I see little kids, singing all the songs. So I feel like you guys had impact, and you will have your moment, even if you feel like you didn't get what you're supposed to. Even though you guys did a lot, and you're still gonna do a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everything has its own timing. When you have impact, people, they won't forget that. Like the generation then and now.
I'm so thankful for our music that's living on right now. People love our music still 21 years later. The movie Bring It On, every Halloween, it just gets bigger and bigger. People are dressing up like us. And so, we actually left an impact in this world, and I'm so happy that we did. And we have so much more to do.
Right. And that's what it's about.
Yes.
That's what makes you timeless. Like your sister said earlier, she said, I want people to feel. When you make people feel and you have impact, that's what's going to make you timeless. Like no matter what.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for that. I look at us losing Lisa and us losing the Tina. It really made me think about what happens when you're gone. And I see how people still love them. They're still talked about every day. We celebrate them. And, I'm so proud that I was a part of their legacy, and I'm able to, keep their legacy going. So I'm thankful for that.
Right.
Brandi, tell me a little bit about the organization that you were working on for your endometriosis.
Yes, guys, I have endometriosis. I know that is really crazy. It's a really big word that I didn't even know what it meant about 6-7 years ago. I had no idea what that word even meant, but I was diagnosed with it about 6-7 years ago, and it has been a roller coaster, let me tell you. I have been dealing with it, of course, since I was a kid. I started my cycle when I was very young, my menstrual cycle when I was very young, and that's basically when endometriosis starts. And, it's been a journey. I had no idea why I was having all these crazy pains, and I couldn't really function. Like, I would be on the road, like not being able to finish a show. Like, I would have to go off the side of the stage sometimes and like have oxygen, sit down. Like, it would be crazy. I would have long drawn out cycles and just really, really bad pain, and didn't really know why. I would go to the doctor. They couldn't give me any answers. It would just be, oh, you're just having bad menstrual cycles or whatever. Then I finally got diagnosed with that, and I realized what it was. And I have just been trying to educate people and get knowledge myself, because it's, with medicine, it's something you can learn every day. They're learning every day how to treat it, how to, what causes it. So I'm just learning just like everyone else, but I just want to bring my mission is to bring awareness. And there is no cure for it. It's basically something that you will have for the rest of your life, even if you have surgeries. I've had multiple surgeries for it, but it's something that I will deal with for the rest of my life. And I just want to bring awareness to it because it is real. I'm learning that it's so many women that deal with this. I know in my life and usually in the African American community, you hear a lot about fibroids. I know a lot of my family were dealing with that. And when I was like, oh, I was dealt with this endometriosis, they were like, what is that? They had no idea what that was. And so I just want to bring awareness and bring education to women to really know what it is. But it's definitely something to handle. I'm dealing with it every day.
And that's important that you speak out, because us as women, especially, you know, African American women, like you said, when things like that happen, you feel like it's only happening to you.
Right.
Like you said about a lot of us have fibroids. I found out a few years ago that I have fibroids, and I just immediately panicked, like, what? She was like, the doctor was like, hey, it's okay. Like, you know, because we don't talk about it. So that's good.
Yeah, the best thing to do is talk about it and share. You feel like you're the only one in the world dealing with it until you start speaking, and you're like, oh my God, literally half of the women I know are dealing with the same issue.
Right.
So I'm sorry, my phone. Half of the women that I know are dealing with the same issue. And once you start talking and having that dialogue, you'll realize that you're not alone. It definitely has helped me, because I deal with infertility. That's one of the symptoms of endometriosis. And it's been a struggle for me to conceive. And everybody's like waiting on this baby to come. And I'm like,
wow.
I understand. I understand.
Yes, I've been believing. I'm the oldest grandchild. I'm the oldest daughter. My grandmother is like, okay, you're not getting any younger, you know.
I know. Yeah. And I mean, people don't know what you're dealing with, because of myself, I was recently diagnosed, a couple of years ago, with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. And I do have 2 kids. Luckily, you know, God blessed me with 2 kids, but yes, I'm grateful for that. And, you know, upon trying to conceive a 3rd child, I had issues with infertility as well due to the PCOS. So, you know, people are always asking, when are you going to have kids, you know, or when are you going to have more kids, not knowing what you're dealing with. So that's good, like you said, to speak out, you know, and let people know, like, hey, you know, this sometimes is out of my control, you know, so you don't want to be insensitive about it. And you do want to educate other people about, you know, what it is and what, you know, you're dealing with.
Absolutely. I know that it's definitely not just me. I have other women in my circle and in my community that deal with it, and I'm thankful for their testimonies. And, you know, we're just a tribe, and we help each other. We lift each other up, and, you know, we pray, because, you know, God has the final say.
Exactly.
And, you know, we'll just go from there. But that's the truth. You have to talk about it. If you don't, then you will be alone.
Because it can do something to you mentally. It can mess with your self-esteem. Like,
oh yeah, sure, absolutely. Especially if you're a woman, you know, and a lot of people associate womanhood with, you know, your fertility and stuff like that. So that does.
And the Black woman at that.
Yes, you're supposed to do all things.
That's a
Black
job
women,
already.
you're supposed to. Yeah, you're supposed to be strong. You're supposed to be able to pop out babies. You're supposed to be able to handle the household, cook, clean,
make
do everything
from scratch.
Exactly. And it can make you feel like you're not a woman. You're not what you were intended to be. Like I've definitely dealt with that.
Yeah, you know, the relatives asking, you know, the relatives will be like, okay, when are you going to have your next child? What's going on? You know, if you don't have any, when are you going to have kids? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I know,
you
every Thanksgiving, I know.
I know.
They're like, when you going to bring somebody home, Kello?
We here.
I'm waiting on the Lord. I'm waiting on the Lord. I'm waiting on the Lord.
We are right. Wait on the Lord. He's going to make it happen.
That's right.
Look, then when I do come, I'm be like, bam.
Let me ask you, being that you're a veteran in this business, right? What advice would you give to new artists that are looking to give to this business? Like, what's one piece of information or one piece of information that you've kept close to your heart that has basically helped you persevere in this crazy music business that you're in?
Well, honestly, what Kodie and I were talking about earlier, our dad always telling us to stay humble and stay sweet, because this industry is crazy.
Yeah.
And you are only as good as your last hit. You know, some people look at it that way. And really, you want to just you want to keep yourself throughout all of this. Like, you can lose yourself because you have so many people in your ear. You got people hyping you up, thinking that you're something that you're not. People trying to, tear you down or build you up when it's good and tear you down when it's not. You want to keep yourself and keep God first, for sure. But also, I would just say, stay yourself. Like, literally, I am so happy that Kodie has found that at such a young age. I admire her so much with that, because I know when I was young, I was 16 when I entered the game. I didn't know who I was. I had no idea. I was figuring it out.
Right.
And, we had so many people, handlers, trying to make us figure out who, making us who we were. And it was like, oh, okay, this is who I need to be. No, this is who I need to be. And right now I'm watching her. I've watched her since she was, I believe she started about 5 years ago. So she was what? Like 15, 16 as well when she started at 17. And so she was always free. She was always herself. Mm-hmm. And I was so in awe about that. I was jealous, because I know when I was 16, 17, I didn't know that. I didn't know who I was. And so I admire that about the young youth and what they're doing. And so I would just say to continue to be you, whether they like it or not. Mm-hmm. It's who you are. This is who God intended you to be. So just be that.
Amen.
And that's it.
Amen.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
Cheers.
On a lighter note, what is your best memory of Natina?
I have
this will be good.
First of all, let me tell you about my sister. Natina was an amazing, talented, crazy, loving individual. She was just, if you met her once, you would never forget her. But one of my fond memories of Natina was such a prankster. She was such a joker. So when we got to New York, our very first trip as a group to New York to get our record deal, we were staying in a very nice hotel in the middle of Times Square. And she was like, hey, y'all, I want to play a prank on everybody in the hotel. And we're like, how are you going to do that? She called majority of the rooms in the hotel and told them that something was wrong with their credit card and they needed to come downstairs because they needed to come downstairs and get this information right. Mind you, this is like at 10, 11 o'clock at night, so people are in the bed. So we get on the elevator, and there's people getting on the elevator in their pajamas, in their underwear, going, and they're like, did somebody call you from downstairs?
Like my credit card.
Yeah. Were y'all in the hall, like just watch, or did y'all sit in the lobby and just watch people come down?
We were in the lobby. It was a sea of people in the lobby saying somebody called us about our credit card information. And we're just standing back there watching.
That's saying. What were
they were like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. We don't know. It was crazy. Okay. That's Natina for you. Yes.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Because you said y'all was at a nice hotel in Times Square. So, immediately people like, my credit card. Like,
my credit card. Exactly.
I'm surprised they didn't start trying to trace what room the call was coming. Or did y'all?
You gotta think that was a while ago.
This was 21 years ago, Bryce.
The hotel, they probably had no caller ID.
Travel.
This was 20 years ago.
Try to do it today and see what happens. We probably taking the job.
Yeah. Right.
That's a good one. That's funny.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
It's so crazy because, I never knew her personally, but when you listen to you guys speak about Natina, then when you hear T-Boz and Chili speak about Left Eye, it's like the similarity, it's so crazy. It's like they almost remind us of each other. And I didn't know them personally, but you knew both of them. Do you feel like that they were so similar like that in so many ways? Because even watching them growing up, you were like, oh my goodness, they remind me of each other.
Yeah, I think that they definitely had something in common. Their energies were definitely similar. Lisa, by the time we entered Lisa's life, she was a little older and a lot more wiser. She had kind of, you know, went through her wild days, but she definitely could relate with Natina and where she was in her journey at that time. So we got a lot of knowledge from Lisa because she was turning a new leaf. She was getting ready to start her health and wellness journey. She started introducing us to Dr. Sabi, like, you know, things were changing for her. But she could definitely relate with Natina because she definitely had those moments in her life where it was like, okay, you know, little crazy, but yeah, Lisa was definitely, her and Natina definitely were kindred spirits for sure.
Brandi D. As an individual, as a solo artist, 2020, what does that look like for you?
Well, I feel like 2020, we're halfway through it, right? So I remember the New Year's came in 2020. It was like, this is going to be our year. We're going to do so much. Everybody was so excited. And then the bottom fell out.
Right.
Crazy, right? So now we're halfway through it and I'm like, okay, where do we go from here? I think the blessing of the quarantine is that I have been really honing into Brandi and what I want to do, like other journeys, like not just music, because I can't perform right now. Right. So it's like, okay, what else do I do? I'm not just a one-trick pony here, you know?
Right.
What else do I want to do? So I've been really like honing into my other crafts, writing and figuring out, okay, my fitness journey and figuring out, you know, oh, I'm into nail polish. I like it. You know, just that's what I want to finish 2020. I want to finish, you know, the things that I've started, the other brands, my other extensions, and, you know, go from there. Shamari and I will definitely get in the studio at some point and start recording for 2021 release. But yeah, I feel like that's the rest of 2020. I'll just be building my other entities and, you know, getting ready to launch for 2021.
I'm looking forward to it. And like you said earlier, when New Year's came and we were like, oh, we're going to be doing this and doing that, it's so funny how God works. I feel like you are doing this and you are doing it. Like you said, you're honing into all your other crafts and you're working on this, you're working just not the things that you thought you were going to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So it all works out. It all pans out.
Yeah, growth comes from being uncomfortable. And I think the pandemic kind of turned a lot of people's on their, you know, people on their head, and they had to like other ways. Other ways to keep themselves entertained. So it's definitely a silver lining with it all. So
in next level, you have to get uncomfortable to go to the next level, period.
Yep. You know, it may not have gone the way we planned it out, but at the end of the day, like you said, God is in charge. So whatever he has for us, we are doing it. We are living it. You know, it may not have been the way we envisioned it, but we're doing it.
God has the final say so, as they say.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for this amazing interview. Cheers, Throwback Zone.
Cheers.
Woo!
Woo!
It's the Throwback Zone. Look, I didn't. You know what? I'm not gonna do that. That's not my last. I'm staying.
All right, the last segment. Remember when?
Remember when? So we're gonna jump right into the Remember When segment, guys. So do you remember when Lil' Kim dropped the Not Tonight Ladies Night remix video? Woo!
Brandi
I
was
remember I wanted to be there. Everybody was in it. I mean, you know, from Mary J. Blige, Queen Latifah, Escape Black, Changing Faces, Total, Maia Campbell. So, you know, we're blessed to have the one and only Brandi D, who happened to be on set and in the video. So tell us about that experience, girl.
Girl, we were so young. BLAQUE was literally just starting. 808 was not out. We were newbies. We were babies. And to be around these amazing artists, it was like, what? And we all stayed at the same hotel. So you would walk in the lobby, you see Mary J. Blige, you got Total, you got everybody, like, whoa, my head was just I'm spinning. Are you kidding me? All these amazing talented women, the Brat, Little Kim, you know, just yes, Angie Martinez, like everybody, Missy, who we ended up working with later. Like it was
right.
crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because you guys were really young. I remember watching the video, and then I didn't notice it was Black in the video until after you guys came out.
Yeah. He was like, wait.
I think if my memory recalls, you guys were the only artists in that video that didn't have like any music out yet.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal.
That was a power move. That was a power move.
Some strings, y'all, that day.
You guys were on set with Lisa and like dancing with Lisa. Yes.
That was nothing but our mommy Martian. That's what we used to call her, mommy Martian, because we were her little Martians. And Lisa she always was making plays, making moves, and she wanted us to be a part of what she knew was going to be history. Like that video, that song is history.
Iconic. It's
super iconic.
I think that was the last time that a bunch of top tier females operated together, and it was like all
we need it. Need it.
Yes, it was such a great representation of unity amongst Black women in hip hop. So that was definitely something iconic that set the board. So I think I've seen another video with that many Black female artists.
The males do it all the time, but we don't do it.
And they still play that song. I still hear that song when I go out.
I was watching the video the other day, and I was
in
like,
97. It's 2021. 2020.
And when you guys did drop 808, oh my goodness. I was like, I never forget. Because I was like, videos were really, really big then. And I was like a video head. And me and my best friend, we was watching BET, and we seen 808. I was like, oh my gosh, who are they? Like, and the crazy part, I know word for word, I was singing like my heart out, and I never really understood the lyrics until I got out.
I
know. We were all in middle. I was in middle school when y'all dropped that, so we were all in the hallway, boom, like an 808.
I think oh my God, I think I was like in 6th grade, and I never, later it finally hit me. I was like, oh, okay.
Y'all really came out, like you said, ahead of y'all's time. Y'all stood out. Y'all really stood out.
Yeah, that first album was a classic. The album art is classic.
Everything.
The whole package, everything about that album.
Thank
it
you,
went
guys.
from I gotta watch this video every day to daddy, I need to see these now. Like to even trying to dress like you guys were trendsetters. It's like you reminded us of TLC, but like you had your own style, but you were like in the future, like you said.
Yeah.
Even with the hair.
Wanted to be
everything.
We wanted to be just these little futuristic little girls. We love the idea, the Matrix, like so crazy Kodie referenced the Matrix because the Matrix movie, the first one, had just came out around that time, and everything was like so futuristic. We actually got to use the actual Matrix cameras in our I Do videos. So that like still shot where Natina and Lisa are like in the air, those were the actual cameras from the Matrix movie.
Oh wow.
So yeah, like we always wanted to be like futuristic, so I guess we got the point across.
Y'all did.
And people will never forget that. Like you guys were such trendsetters. My same friend, I'm telling you, we went to the mall where we found like we was calling them skants, because you know how like a skirt was like the shorts with the skirt, it was like the pants. And we was like, oh my goodness, we're gonna be the first people at school with these on. Like So yes, you guys.
All right, guys, we want to thank you so much for tuning in to our first episode of the Throwback Zone. We want to thank Cody Shane for coming in and hanging out with us tonight. We hope you guys stay tuned. Follow us and subscribe to the Throwback Zone on YouTube and everywhere else, all social media platforms. We love you, and let's throw it back, guys. Woo!
It's the Throwback Zone.